Hi, Te whānau te Karaiti. This is an attempt to try something a little different, which I hope we'll try out for maybe 6 months or so and see how it goes. Some of you will know that each month Andrew has been videoing me talking to anyone who wants to listen, talking about what's happening in the diocese. And I just felt that one person talking to a camera is not particularly engaging. And I thought it might be nicer to actually make contact with people around the diocese who are doing this stuff that I was talking about and let us have a conversation. So again, we're going to try and keep it reasonably short and brief. I'm going to ask them some questions. I've just said to them, if they've got any questions they want to fire at me, they can do so. I'm not guaranteeing I can answer them. And that will be it. So just to introduce them first, Joel. Joel, you've been filling in interim at St. Peter's. Tell me about your day. How's this average day?
It's been, I would like to say this is a typical day at St. Peter's, but it's been a bit busier. We're doing a new electrical connection to one of the rental properties. So we've got people digging under the footpath and climbing power poles and running cables into buildings. And then at the same time, we had the lawnmower guy turned up, painters to do some repairs inside the vicarage, and we've got the quilters and patchwork people in the hall, and then I'm hiding out the back trying to assemble a kit set tin shed, just because you do it on a Tuesday.
Which is all the sort of stuff that we put down on our training regime for clergy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
And Judy. So any of you who don't know Judy, Judy works at the university. She runs a community lunch each week. What church does that come out of, Judy? It's a Catholic?
That is the Catholic Social Services and Mercy Parish, which is St. Patrick's in McHugh Road in South Dunedin.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then the other pie that Judy has a finger in is Friday Light. And that's really why I've got the two, Judy and Joel, here for this talk. Not because either of them were at the beginning of Friday Light or are in charge of Friday Light, but because, Judy, you've been with them for a while. And Joel, you have just kind of recently, I guess, been part of a parish hosting Friday Light. So
That's right.
Any of you who don't know what Friday Light is, hopefully by the end of this conversation you will. And you may even want to come along and join them or us on a Friday night. So, Judy, can you tell us just briefly, how did this begin? I know you weren't one of the ones who started it, but how did it begin?
But I've done a bit of research.
Yeah.
The first meeting was the first Friday after Christmas in 2006. So we just realised today that we're coming up for a 20th birthday, which is pretty amazing. It was kind of spurred on because of an awareness that everything shuts down over Christmas. And there's a whole lot of people out there who need something to do in that, 6 weeks or so where everything goes quiet. They started up at St. Luke's in Mosgiel. And from the beginning, it's been like an interdenominational gathering, emphasizing community and talks about Christian faith and living. It's still kept the same flavor through the time, through the 20 years, where it's built around sharing and prayer, praising, and then we finish always with a shared meal. So we're focusing on sharing where we've noticed God being present and active in our lives. It's always been run by a team.
It started with Jonathan and Lindy, didn't it?
Yeah, and a few others. We continue to have a team involved.
I'm wondering, can you talk to us about what it was like hosting this particular service with its own flavour?
Yes, because where I used to be in Auckland at St. Columba, we always had a Friday community lunch, and that was purely about feeding people. And so shifting from St. Columba to St. Peter's, where Friday Light's transferred once or twice a month to now, it's far more than just being a community meal. As Judy was saying, it's sharing the gospel, it's sharing the prayers, it's also you're sharing their lives, and that's something I've been getting out of it. One of the things we do, we open with a prayer and a song, as we do in a lot of churches, and then we actually just open up the floor, and we ask people to say anything significant that's happened in their life in the last week or two, whether it's positive or negative. There's no rules as long as it doesn't upset anybody else who's there. And also sometimes how God's touched them. And one of the things I've been observing is the way that I'm seeing God, Jesus, in action in the community through these people, through their shared experiences. It's really opening a window.
Wonderful. Why do you think they come?
I would say they're hungry.
Yeah, spiritually as well as physically.
Yeah, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And different people, that the order is completely different. There are some people who simply turn up for the meal, and they're a blessing because they get to see a side of the world that they may not see. They get an insight into Christ and Christ's love. There's some people who come for the community. One of the things I've heard a reasonable number of times during the sharing is, oh yes, I got into a bit of strife this week and so came and helped me. I was moving house. These two people who are also Friday night people, they came and packed and moved my stuff for me. So it's more than just a meal. It's more than just sharing. It's actually creating a community in itself.
Would you agree, Judy?
Yes, I would. I think that the ownership thing is really important. It's like this is our group. You know, that kind of sense of identity that's grown over the time that it's been operating, you know, and that's really strong.
Yeah.
So one of the 4 pillars or PO that I'm hoping we're focusing on as a diocese is to reinvigorate our confidence in the good news. And what struck me last Friday there was just how strong the feeling was that the gospel is good news. So why do you think the gospel is good news for this particular group of people? Joel?
I think they hunger for good news. That we're not necessarily preaching, we're living it. And so they're seeing an example of the good news in action. Christ tells us to actually basically walk out of our church, find the people and tend to them. And this is putting our words into action and doing it in a very genuine, authentic way. And in a way, we're leading by example.
I think I would say that people are very open about many of the challenges that they're facing, and there are an incredible variety of challenges. And what is remarkable is how they go to their scripture reading, or they go to their prayer, or they go to something like that first. You know, it's like, I was feeling such and such, and I thought of what Jesus would do, or it's just like it's the very first reaction, and that has become really strong. And I've seen that grow over the time that I've been involved. I've been involved since 2019. But that's the thing that strikes me is some people are facing really big issues, and Jesus, their faith, is the thing, because they haven't often people haven't got a lot else, is often the thing that they're holding on to, and they come along to strengthen that and to share it.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness, thank you both. And obviously you're always open to other people coming along and helping.
The doors are always open. We're growing, which is a lovely thing to see in action.
Come and help, or just come and be part of it.
Yeah, we do both.
Yeah. So look, I did give you both an open slate with any questions you wanted to throw at me.
I'm wondering if this is a model that I don't like the idea of cookie cutter churches, but is this something that we can learn from and transplant something similar but different into other communities? Because the hunger is real. It really is.
Well, I would hope so. I think that's a no-brainer, Joel.
Yes, but we've actually got to put our words into action, don't we?
Yeah, anything that reaches out in that way.
Yeah.
But for any project like this, you need a coalition of the willing. You need at least 3 people on the whole who are willing to get behind it. So yeah, if there was a group of 3 people other side of the diocese who were willing to get this started, they could always come to you, Judy, or to Jonathan. And
do I want me to advertise when and where? So now we are at St. Peter's in Caversham on the 3rd and 5th Fridays of the month, and we are still at St. Luke's in Mosgiel on the 1st Friday of the month, and it starts at 5:45. And anybody is welcome.
Okay. All right. Bless you both.
Okay. Catch you later. Bless you. Bye.